The foundation of Buddhist thought, the Four Noble Truths. Buddhism is not a religion of worshipping gods or deities, it is a path of understanding and practice. At its heart lie the Four Noble Truths. These truths, first shared by Siddhartha Gautama the Buddha, provide a framework for understanding suffering and finding lasting peace. They are not dogma, but invitations to investigate our own experiences. Imagine a doctor diagnosing an illness. The Four Noble Truths are like this diagnosis. They identify the human condition, our suffering, and offer a way to heal. They encourage us to look deeply into our lives and see the truth of our experience. These truths are not meant to be simply believed, but to be put into practice. The Buddha encouraged his followers to test his teachings in their own lives. Through meditation and mindful living, we can verify the truth of these principles for ourselves. By understanding and embodying the Four Noble Truths, we can begin to walk the path toward liberation from suffering and the realization of true happiness. The first noble truth states that suffering is an inherent part of life. This doesn't mean we are doomed to be unhappy. It simply acknowledges that life includes experiences like physical pain, sickness, aging, and death. We also suffer emotionally. Loss, disappointment, anger, and fear are common human experiences. Even when things seem good, there's often a subtle dissatisfaction, a feeling that something is missing. This truth isn't meant to be pessimistic. It's about honestly acknowledging the reality of suffering in our lives. Only by recognizing the problem can we begin to address it. The Buddha taught that clinging to the idea of a perfect, painless existence only creates more suffering. When we accept the presence of suffering, we can begin to find true peace. The second noble truth explores the causes of suffering. It states that suffering arises from attachment and craving. We cling to pleasurable experiences, wishing they would last forever. We push away unpleasant ones, wishing they would disappear. This clinging creates a constant cycle of desire and aversion. When our desires are fulfilled, we experience temporary happiness, but it never lasts. We quickly develop new desires, leading to more craving and dissatisfaction. We crave material possessions, sensory pleasures, recognition from others, and even the continuation of our own egos. This grasping creates a sense of separation from the world around us, leading to loneliness and isolation. The second noble truth teaches us that true happiness cannot be found by chasing after fleeting pleasures or clinging to impermanent things. True freedom lies in letting go of our attachments. The third noble truth offers hope. It states that suffering can be overcome. This liberation, known as nirvana, is not a heavenly realm, but a state of being free from suffering. Nirvana is achieved by extinguishing the flames of attachment and aversion that fuel our suffering. It's about finding a deep inner peace that's not dependent on external circumstances. The Buddha compared achieving nirvana to extinguishing a candle flame. It's not about destroying anything, but about transforming our relationship to suffering. The third noble truth assures us that liberation is possible for everyone. It's not a reward reserved for a select few, but an attainable goal for anyone willing to walk the path. Section 5. The fourth truth, the eightfold path to liberation. The fourth noble truth outlines the path to liberation, the eightfold path. This path is not a set of rules, but a practical guide to cultivate wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. The eightfold path consists of right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These elements are interconnected and support each other. They help us develop compassion, clarity, and inner peace. By practicing the eightfold path, we gradually weaken the grip of craving and aversion, moving closer to liberation. The eightfold path is a lifelong journey, not a destination to be reached overnight. It requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to look within. Section 6. Anatta, the illusion of self and the absence of a creator God. One of the most important concepts in Buddhism is anatta, the idea of no self. This doesn't mean we don't exist, but it challenges the notion of a permanent, unchanging self or soul. We tend to think of ourselves as separate individuals, but Buddhism teaches that everything is interconnected and constantly changing. Our bodies, thoughts, and emotions are in constant flux, like a river flowing. This understanding of anatta has implications for the concept of God. If there is no permanent self within us, then the idea of a separate, eternal creator God becomes less tenable. Buddhism doesn't assert or deny the existence of a God. It simply focuses on the practical path to liberation from suffering, which is accessible to everyone regardless of their beliefs. Section 7. Karma. Shaping our destiny through action. The concept of karma plays a central role in understanding the cycle of suffering and liberation. Karma simply means action, and it refers to the principle of cause and effect. Every action we take, whether physical, verbal, or mental, creates consequences. These consequences shape our experiences, influencing our present and future lives. Karma is not a system of punishment or reward. It's simply the natural law of cause and effect playing out in our lives. By understanding karma, we can start to make choices that lead to greater happiness and well-being. Buddhism teaches that we have the power to transform our karma through our actions. By cultivating positive qualities like kindness, compassion, and wisdom, we create the causes for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Section 8. Different paths, shared values, Buddhism and Western theism. Buddhism and Western theistic traditions offer different approaches to understanding the nature of reality and the meaning of life. However, despite their differences, they share some common values. Both emphasize the importance of compassion, loving kindness, and ethical conduct. Both encourage their followers to live lives of purpose, seeking meaning beyond material possessions. While Western religions often focus on the relationship between humanity and a divine creator, Buddhism emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings and the potential for awakening within each of us. Ultimately, both Buddhism and Western theistic traditions offer paths to finding peace, meaning, and connection in a complex world. Section 9. From Siddhartha to Mindfulness, Buddhism's enduring legacy. Buddhism originated in India over 2,500 years ago with the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, who came to be known as the Buddha. The Buddha's teachings spread throughout Asia and eventually around the world. Today, Buddhism continues to be a source of wisdom and inspiration for millions of people. Its practices of meditation and mindfulness have gained widespread popularity, offering tools for managing stress, cultivating inner peace, and living more fulfilling lives. Buddhist teachings on compassion, non-violence, and social justice continue to inspire activists and peacemakers around the world. The emphasis on personal responsibility and the interconnectedness of all beings offer valuable insights for addressing global challenges. As Buddhism continues to evolve and adapt to the modern world, its core teachings on the nature of suffering and the path to liberation remain as relevant as ever.